100 rated chess. But only your king captures anywhere. Your pieces can only capture on the edges of the board. Your pawns cannot capture on the edge. Well, what kind of pawn captures on the edge anyway? Absolutely easy. Let's go. We get a 145 from India. e4. e5. Alright, since my pieces can only capture on the edges of the board. b3. The plan is very simple. Knight a3, bishop takes a3, bishop takes a3. This is literally the most practical way to make use of the piece's ability to capture. Unless he closes down his bishop. That is not very convenient. g3. I mean, it's fine. Closing down a bishop means opening up the other one. Knight h3, bishop h3 also works, unless he somehow decides to close down this bishop as well. But I mean, who plays like that anyway? Right? Absolutely. Knight h3. He doesn't take. It's fine though, it will eventually happen regardless. Knight c3. g5. Very aggressive. Knight d5. As usual, for challenges that restrict my ability to capture, I will let my opponent do the captures instead. And this time I can even recapture with my own pawn that also puts the pawn on a more active square. Absolutely killing two stones with one bird. He takes the other knight that he could have taken 3 moves ago instead. Anything works. b5. Again, very aggressive. Queen f3. Preventing knight f6, since my knight is having a pretty good outpost in the center, even though it cannot make any captures, it can still create a decent amount of pressure on my opponent's position. And of course he plays knight f6 regardless. Okay, somehow I feel like he is so going to go g4 next, thinking that he is forking my pieces. Let's just spend a move to prevent that first. Knight d4. Still blundering the knight, but queen c3 instead. Knight e6. Okay, that looks like a very insecure move. His e-pawn was already defending his knight and he still moved it back. Queen c6 check. Queen d7. That blunders a rook, and since his rook is also on the edge of the board, queen takes a8. Queen d8. And in this very position, I came up with an absolutely amazing idea. Queen c6 check again. Queen d7. That blunders a whopping 12 points of materials, but I cannot take any of them due to the rules. Queen a8 check. The plan is very simple. Threefold repetitional draw. Exactly. Queen c6 check again. One more. Didn't happen. He wants to play even though being down a rook and a minute on the clock. d4 then. I mean, knight takes d4 will be a bit problematic as it attacks my queen, but I mean he should be able to see that his knight is currently defending his very critical c7 pawn, which is keeping his king from being checked and having to move himself forward. Right? I never had any doubt. My bishop is the only thing attacking his g-pawn, and he still chose to bring his rook out to defend that exact pawn, even though he already had 2 pieces doing the job. D takes e5. And of course he brought in the 4th piece just to defend that exact one pawn. Man, I don't see any testosterone whatsoever. This is literally the first time ever that I feel like my opponent is actually a girl. E takes d6. She is running very low on time though, maybe I can consider the dirty flag tactic. Bishop takes d6. f4. Rook g6. That blunders a fork. Rook f6. Free horsey. Rook f2. Aha. The challenge said my king can capture anywhere. And I guess since there is not much time left and I will win anyway, we'll let the king fulfills his part of the challenge. My opponent ran out of time. Mission accomplished.